Dynamite.
While we get that answer, dispensers, hey, how you guys doing? My name's Heero. That's Eric. We're the amalgamation of the Identity Booth. And here our goal is to identify with you as you try to identify with us. But today, we want to talk about somebody not holding up their part of the bargain and the multitude of reasons why they're not doing it. Now, if you are anybody who cares about anything to do with your own personal sanity, you will not involve yourself with this social media platform that is known as Facebook. Between avoiding random people you no longer talk to since high school, your aunties and uncles who just will not shut up about the young prince from whatever country trying to get them to send them credit card information, or the multitude of people doing their own research on a platform where 12 people are responsible for the multitude of misinformation in a country. Facebook has proven over and over again that is a cesspool that is not healthy for us as a society. But their reach is far moving and far growing because they are also in control of Instagram and WhatsApp. And for all you guys who don't know, on Monday, for 6 hours, all three of those platforms went down, giving multiple responses, but moreover, some of the critical ones, which is a peace of mind, welcome back Twitter, and also a deep concern with what's the problem with one company having so much communication ability. Because for people like me who communicate with people in Africa via WhatsApp, not being able to reach loved ones for 6 hours can become very terrifying. So we're going to talk about how this possibly happened, why it happened, the consequences of it, and just what the side effects of all of this is. So for that part, before we dive into it, Eric, what did you think about the blackout?
I was happy. You know why? Is I like seeing technocracies realize that they're vulnerable to the regular old plebs. Us common folk down here can still reach out and touch you if we want to. Those same people that hacked into Facebook could have probably imploded Facebook. You're not invincible. That was my takeaway. I always like to see the big dog get stung by a bee and get paralyzed. It's always fun to watch. It's always fun, at least for me. Maybe I get some sense of satisfaction out of watching, major entities that I think oppress people on a daily basis get crippled.
And Eric's not wrong when he uses the word oppressed, because if you know anything about Myanmar, this is a country that was saturated by fake news and blocked away from media sources, so no one could report on Myanmar and no one could get news out of Myanmar. And it was all facilitated by Facebook. There was literally a military coup that took place live on Facebook, and it was allowed to stream because of the powers to be. But a lot of people are wondering what happened. Why did Facebook go down? They claimed that it was a DNS server breakdown, which is basically they needed to reset certain things that held too much information, and instead of crashing the system, they woefully turned it off so they could reset it. Now, that's what they're saying. But by them doing this and it not being announced, because normally if you're doing a major IT thing like this, it would be well announced. People would have opportunities to prepare, but that wasn't the case here. So what really happened? Well, let's go to the next scene and maybe we'll have a better understanding. Today was the first day for the Facebook whistleblower sitting at Congress and actually giving her testimony. She was able to get 10,000 files out of Facebook before she was removed. And she talks about how Facebook's algorithm that me and Eric suffer from is designed purposely to affect people like me and Eric. How it's designed to make kids under the age of 13 feel inadequate no matter how great their life is. How it's designed to make people angry first, question second. What does that mean? Basically, hey, abortions should be okay, and not provide any context to why. Just make you angry and then give you more stuff to make you feel okay about being angry.
Hey, can I interject here? If you guys don't follow the Identity Booth on Instagram, I actually have done several videos about what Heero's talking about. Make sure you go over to our Instagram at the Identity Booth and go back and check out some of the videos I've done, September, August. I talk about this. Heero and I have had extensive conversations about what social media platforms do. So for those of you guys who don't know your history about Facebook, Facebook back in 2007 gave a psychology company access to its entire platform, allowed them to insert certain posts, thoughts, news stories into different people's feeds to see if they could alter their moods. Ralph Nader actually did a whole piece on this on the media and it got buried. You can go find this on YouTube right now. Ralph Nader, Facebook PSYOP. You can find that. These people have been planning this for a long time. They have been using their algorithm to terrorize you, to stir up certain emotions, certain thoughts, to polarize, I think was the word I used, Heero. Polarize you and solidify you into a set of ideas that may or may not be good and completely block off completely separate things. This has all been planned and it's taken them 13, 14 years to implement. And we finally got a brave soul to come out and whistle about what's happening before the Senate.
So
it's great.
Let's take a second and just hear a little bit about what she had to talk about. This was her on Capitol Hill, October 5th, 2021. That was today. So let's see.
I used to work at Facebook. I joined Facebook because I think Facebook has the potential to bring out the best in us. But I'm here today because I believe Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken our democracy. The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people. Congressional action is needed. They won't solve this crisis without your help. Yesterday, we saw Facebook get taken off the internet. I don't know why it went down, but I know that for more than 5 hours, Facebook wasn't used to deepen divides, destabilize democracies, and make young girls and women feel bad about their bodies. It also means that millions of small businesses weren't able to reach potential customers, and countless photos of new babies weren't joyously celebrated by family and friends around the world. I believe in the potential of Facebook. We can have social media we enjoy that connects us without tearing apart our democracy, putting our children in danger, and sowing ethnic violence around the world. We can do better. I have worked as a product manager at large tech companies since 2006, including Google, Pinterest, Yelp, and Facebook. My job has largely focused on algorithmic products like Google Plus Search and recommendation systems like the one that powers the Facebook newsfeed. Having worked on 4 different...
And I want to stop here to kind of talk a little bit about the power to funnel information. What does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Why is that line so important? I'm going to take you guys back to a segment like right before the election when Facebook decided to commit to not allowing posts for political gain from any political public or private pages. And how fucking quiet and peaceful Facebook was. How normal Facebook looked for 24 hours during the election, and then the additional 72 hours it took for them to finish the count. How quiet it was. But Facebook readily admitting back then that they could control the outflow of fake news, hate speech, and just causing this issue. Furthermore, when they decided to ban Donald Trump from Facebook, how quickly after January 6th did all those posts disappear about what was happening at the Capitol? The algorithm literally changed overnight. The fact that she's stating that they know this and they control this, but it's for the ad. So it makes you wonder, what type of ads does Facebook gain by letting this stuff spew? Well, none. They get it for the data, the geospatial analysis. Because if they can pinpoint 7 things you want to buy and tell that store you want to buy it, that's how they make money. They don't need to run ads on Facebook. You are the ad.
Yes, and to that point, what most people don't know is this platform makes about $11 to $12 per day per user just on selling ads to you when you're on the platform and selling information. This is why they want to know so much about you. It purposely puts up posts based on what you put up, the things that you like. It builds a personal profile specific to you and feeds you information, videos, stories, posts, links that it thinks you will click on so you stay on the app longer. They make money by you being on the app, scrolling, staring. That's why you can't run it. That's why you can't minimize it. That's why a platform like YouTube took it away for so long. The fact that you can minimize it and run it in the background. They want you staring at it, collecting data on you to sell you and to sell to third parties. This is how they make money.
The thing that I also want to bring attention to is what they talked about the children. Instagram wanted to make an Instagram children version. And I just want to state what a horrible idea that would have been. You mean to tell me you want to create a platform where a bunch of little kids and little kids only can go without any checks and balance? Because if we haven't learned anything from the Archdiocese or any other pedos out there in the world that
Nambla,
they gonna find a way. And the thing that you have to remember is history repeats itself, because YouTube for kids was a thing too, and it still is. But they had to literally say, if your device has any adults on it, you can't run YouTube for kids on that device. So that's why you always see the kids with those goofy ass iPads, because that's a device strictly made for them. Yep. So Facebook, a company that has admitted that their content does damage young kids' minds and self-image, wants to control what your kids will view. Because they've also acknowledged that the video game industry, which Facebook gaming is a big part of now, can make up to $15 an hour off of loot boxes, because that's what they're making off of kids on Fortnite. So why do you think it's so important for Fortnite to be able to run on Facebook now? All these games, these mobile games, it's incriminating. But also the illusion of perfection that Instagram has put on young women. After looking at some of these women on Instagram, I couldn't imagine being like a girl growing up in today's day, because it's just impossible to believe that these people exist. And you literally get fed this shit day after day after day after day. Mm-hmm. So it does work on your self-image. It does wreck the brain. It does make it difficult to actually think that your life is even attainable.
And do you know why they do these things? Is because they don't want you to have high enough self-esteem to go out, form real human connections with people. They want to, again, what's the word? Polarize you into believing that there's something wrong with you that you're not enough for either yourself, for your family, for that person that you're attracted to, that you want to have an intimate relationship with. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's a business partnership. It just wants to sow that seed of doubt so that you do what? You isolate yourself. And when human beings in 2021 are isolated, what is their first thing that they do? This right here. And if you're doing this, they make money. This is what this is about. It is, what did you say? Heero said, you're the ad. They're marketing and selling you. This is what this is about. So be very careful about how much time and attention you give to it. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy from two people who have a YouTube and a TikTok and a Instagram where we post, but you don't see us posting a whole bunch of personal stuff. We post our thoughts, our ideas, funny things. We post that stuff. But our personal life, we have been able to compartmentalize it and put it in the space that it's, used for, and we put everything else of our real life not on here. We relish in the interactions. So I'm just saying, you guys gotta use it for what it's there for. Is if you can make money, if you can connect with people that you actually can't see, cool. But otherwise, nah. Shout out to Invincibeer. He says, unlike back in the day when you see that image on TV, now it makes people feel even worse because you get to be on the platform with them. They try and make it feel more relatable, but it's so very calculated, and those that are naive don't know any better, which is why people like us, Invincibeer, we gotta tell people how to help them kind of separate the reality, get off of that thing, go out in the world. Things are back open. Go have real human interactions with people. Call somebody on the phone. Actually, talk to them on the phone for more than 5 minutes. Don't text them. Have a conversation. Meet up for coffee, drinks, lunch, whatever it is that your thing is. Go out and have those face to face. Go look at facial expressions, body language, human contact. For God's sakes, go get that, because that's real. What you're seeing on the screen is all a lie to get you to have some kind of psychological and emotional response that's probably negative 9.5 times out of 10. So just keep that into consideration.
No, it's definitely something to think about. And hey, we'll figure out more about this, and we'll follow this, because Facebook did lose $13 billion.
So what you saying?
Hey,
get out my business.
Clap it up for that.
And on top of the $13 billion loss, the stock prices went down to $326 at one point. So they're back up to where they want to be right now. But I was definitely a person who was thinking about doing the buying on that drop off. But hey, that's just a little insight to it. More importantly, take care of your mental health. Don't get this blue screen damage going to your mind, man. Find a way to disconnect. But for everything else in the meantime, where can we find you?
You can find us right here on Twitch, man. This is where we live. This is where we hang out. Shout out to the 7 people rocking with us on Twitch. Shout out to the 2 people on YouTube. You can find us over on our faithful, reliable side piece, YouTube. And you can also make sure you hit that link tree, man. We own the TikToks. We own the Twitter sphere. We own the Instagrams. We like Visa everywhere you need to be, man. Make sure you do that. Yeah.
Shout out to Invincibeer. Invincibeer came through. Thought I forgot. Invincibeer was out here dropping them.
But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line.